Hooptie Joyride with Brian and Steve. All right.
It's a gnarly, tubular Hooptie Joyride. That's right. We're doing the 80s. And I got to take these off because I can't see a damn thing. This episode's so bright, I got to wear shades. All of the 80s hits coming right at you. Collector, how you doing?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, that's I'm looking forward to talking about the 80s.
Yeah,
We
reliving our
started to
youth.
drive, and we started to play with cars in that time frame.
Yeah, yeah.
80s.
Got our first Craftsman three-piece tool set and
Yeah,
started to make some damage.
looks like you've expanded yours since then.
I'm still in transition here with the mess of a background, so I'm sparing everybody from, and I just show this mess instead.
There you go.
Yeah. Much more. Well, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna go in a time machine, take it to the way back, and jump in. Anything? Any thoughts before we kick it off?
No, just a reminder, fictional $5,000 budget, all in. Buy, do what you want to your ride, and let's see what we have. I'm ready.
All right. I think I'm up first. So
you are. Yep.
And before I do that, I just want to call everybody's attention to the Hooptie Joyride attire, potential merch. This was given to me as a gift from someone who's special, so that's always fun. But, people like it. We might be able to do it. It's got the Hooptie Joyride logo across the back. Hopefully everybody can see that. And so I'm sporting, That's what we got.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's kick it off. All right. So I'm going to, it's the 80s. There were no rules, so I'm breaking them. I'm actually kicking it off. When you and I were talking about this episode, you said, hey, how many rides do you want to do? Like we always do. We got a little planning going back and forth. We do it via text today, not that handwritten letter you pulled out of the closet from 1991 or whatever that was a minute ago. Handwriting hasn't gotten better. But you asked me, and I jokingly said 7.5. And you said, yeah, cool, let's do it. So in order to live up the kind of half part of the bargain, that's where I'm starting. Mine, it's a 57, actually. I think I've got listed on the slide as a 58. Probably doesn't matter. Actually, it probably does matter. 57 Chevy passenger car frame. I listed it as a 210. Not really sure what it is, but 6-cylinder engine, 3-speed transmission. So it's got the driveline, drive shaft, axles, even has a title. So, that's pretty cool. Here's a shot of the engine and trans. Interesting transmission cross member mount there, but, kicking it old school. I mean, it looks like it's been somewhat preserved. It's got tires on it to roll around or whatever. So there's my half.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think you got to start to something there. Looks solid. And I guess as a reminder, this car was $1,800.
Yeah.
And it was found in Missouri?
Cedar Hill, Missouri. Yeah.
Okay. So, I think you have a start to build something pretty cool. You got a lot of work ahead of you. But yeah, it's definitely a half.
I met the rules, my own rules that I started as a joke.
And I believe my half will be my last car of the day.
That's right. We're going to end with your half. So we'll ultimately get there. So, okay. I think you're up with your first whole vehicle then.
Okay. So my first whole vehicle, 1988 Toyota Supra from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, $4,000. The listing says, somebody come and grab it. Want to move it today? It'll run for 2 to 3 seconds and then die. He says he's got over 4,000 into it. Tow it, try to fix it, or do whatever you want. Just hand me $4,000. So he says it's got the 7M-GE motor. It's a 5-speed manual, 147,000 miles on the car. super clean interior. Body could use a little bit of work, so on and so forth. So, personally, I always liked this car. As growing up in the 80s, I thought they were a pretty sharp car. Now, when you know, like you said, it looks pretty straight, looks solid. Not really sure why it's not running for more than a few seconds. Sounds like it could be a vacuum leak. It could be a fuel delivery problem. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But yeah, you still have $1,000 to go with it. Now I think you have another photo here. I think the car's had a little bit of modification on it. He said it's been lowered with coilovers. He's got no trades in his caption. So, what do you think, Dreamer?
I'm with you. I mean, these were like the ultimate of sporty ride back in the day. You didn't see too many of them, which made them cool as well. And nice platform. I'm not sure I'm digging the deep dish wheels, and I don't know if we've got the other photo now, just the interior, where the front camber and stuff looks like it's maybe somebody setting it up as a drift, or it wants to be set up as a drift.
Right.
The drift car, but yeah, I mean, I think if you could get it back to running, hopefully the stock wheels and tires come with it, and would be an interesting roller. Not a ton of room in the budget though to deal with any kind of serious engine issues. So
correct.
Getting up there, but I like it. I always thought these were cool.
Yeah. All right, let's see what you got.
I got something I also thought was cool. Same era, 89 Dodge Daytona, Halton Hills, Ontario. It's 5,000 Canadian, which translates today into about a little over $3,600, almost $3,700. So definitely a little bit of room left in the budget. Seller says it's more reliable than my daily driver, and it has a built-in factory anti-theft device, which he's jokingly calling the manual transmission. So sounds like our Volkswagen Golf or Porsche 914 that you were just basically searching for gears, but who knows. This one has a cracked windshield from entering hyperspeed, apparently. So a couple different things, but also was, for that era. And if you didn't live through it, it probably doesn't seem to be the case, but it's true. Like, this was considered a sporty ride in the late 80s. So definitely an interesting kind of car. We got the louvers on the back for the speed, two-tone kind of paint thing going on. This one is turbo.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with the turbo. And interior, seen better days, at least in terms of sag and cleanliness, but pretty cool. And it did have the futuristic space, Star Trek, Star Wars, whatever it is, kind of dash console. No airbag, obviously, you can see. But again, pretty interesting. We had a neighbor that had one, and I allegedly may or may not have been holding on to his roof at around 40 miles an hour up and down the street. So definitely kind of cool. I think there was even a Shelby version of this at one point. So
I think
yeah,
you're right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right about the Shelby version. Yeah, they're a neat car. Kids nowadays probably would not be too much into it with the louvered back louvers and stuff, and definitely kids can't drive stick now. So that's definitely a challenge for a lot of kids nowadays, unfortunately. But yeah, I always like the digital dash. I think it's kind of I guess the Corvette, the C4 Corvette in '84 was about the first to start with all that digital dash.
Yep.
So yeah, cool.
Interesting for sure. Yeah, it's a fun ride. That'd be something cool to cruise around in. Not the height of performance, but
right,
still sharp. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, what do you got for us?
All right, so I'm bringing to us a 1987 Cadillac Alante from Staten Island, New York, $3,500. This particular car says it comes with a new Jasper engine. It has 10,000 miles, and the transmission was changed and only has 25,000 miles. Runs and drives. He's looking to trade for a Fox body Mustang V8 only. So I always thought these were a pretty cool car. They come, most of them have the removable hardtop. I kind of think that they should be a collector's car from the 80s. But the values have not really kept up or, done anything. I'm not sure what wheels comes with it because you got two different sets there. I think these weren't these built overseas, and they put them in like 747s or big airplanes and shipped them over, I think.
Yeah.
Little history to these cars. They were groundbreaking at its time for Cadillac. So what do you think there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the photos need a little bit of help just to be able to see what you're looking at. But I agree with you. I mean, this is another one where it was just, this, maybe the Buick Riata,
correct.
Two-seater, they were definitely groundbreaking and, cool and sporty at a time where, things just weren't. So this was definitely a departure for Cadillac at the time. And, I don't know, made some of us that would never look twice at a Cadillac, take notice. So I agree with you. They should be worth more, but for whatever reason, they're not. Even after the movie with Robin Williams, where he was a salesman of these things. So
yeah, I actually like the model. I guess after it, the XLR, I think it is a little better. But they're higher than our budget for Hooptie Joyride. So
yeah. Yeah, this would be one styling hoopty for sure. I think we got a couple of those this week, but that's cool. All right. I think that's me. All right. Bringing you Lumpy. This is an 84 Dodge W250. It's a pickup truck from Hermosa, South Dakota. Cheap, $1,000. It's got a 360. It's got 4x4 automatic trans, carbureted. If you needed to know that, it was right around the time I think Dodge was switching over to EFI on some things. It doesn't run, and it was used as a logging truck and a water hauler. But it is lumpy. It has hit everything on the farm. It looks like so. I don't think there's a straight panel on this. I would bet that the wheels probably aren't even straight. It's just there. But it's a farm truck. $1,000. You got something you could work with. Maybe go rock crawling, take it logging, or not logging, trail riding, mud and whatever. They're pretty stout vehicles. That doesn't say anything about rust or not, but if doesn't have a whole lot of rot, you got something fun, even though it's been beat up a bit. What do you think?
Yeah, you got plenty of budget there. $1,000. I guess you want to try and get it running and see where you're at with drivetrain. And look, if you have a ranch or a farm, it's a good beater.
Yeah.
Let your kids go out and run around in it on your farm. It's not going to win any concours event, but you might as well drive it.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend one penny of budget on fixing any of the bodywork. I think, like you said, use the budget to get it running. Take it back and forth to the home improvement store, and not care one deal about what it looks like.
Yep. Go get your bird feed for the farm.
Exactly. All right. What do you got?
All right. So my next one will be a 1987 Suzuki Samurai. I know we've had Samurais on here in the past. I know it was one of your dreams. So I figured let's continue with it. It's coming to us from Price, Utah. It's $4,000, so I'm up on the budget. It's not bad, he says. Come check it out. It runs and drives, and not much rust. Really doesn't give any other description of it. Got yourself a nice light bar up there, up top and down bottom, for seeing where you're at on the trails at night. It almost looks like it was set up for like a tow bar on there with the quick down bottom there, the little cotter pins to disconnect it quick.
Yeah.
So, it's, sun faded, relatively straight there. Take the top off and enjoy your Suzuki.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's got Jeep vibes,
Yeah. It's interior doesn't look too bad for running around in it. Looks like he's got diamond plating on the door. So I think that's a mod. Yeah. What do you think?
Look, I think you said it. I think these are cool. And they're becoming even more rare as every day passes. So definitely a cool ride for me. I would, 4,000 is a bit high, but who knows? If it is it looks to be in good shape. If it's in the shape that it appears, not a bad purchase. I don't think. It's hard to find them where there haven't been lifted, broken, molested, whatever. So to find a clean one, I think it's worth the money.
All right. Well, I think you're going to challenge it with your next vehicle. Close to my price, Utah, but you're the same state, so let's see what you got.
That's true. Maybe we take an extra long trailer out and pick them both up. This one is an '89 Jeep Comanche, Tremonton, Utah. A little bit lower on the budget price point, $3,000. This one does have transmission issues, but it comes with an extra trans, so you got that going for. With the trans being the way it is installed, it won't. You can't drive it, but it does run. Guy says does seem a little rough, but it's a good start. It's good floor plans. It's got the straight six, which would be the 4-cylinder. Only 155,000 miles, which on those engines is typically just breaking it in. I think the one downside of it is it's 2-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive. So little difference. My brother had one of these. He literally drove the brakes off of it. Had to fix it at one point, but he had it for a long, long time. Pretty reliable, ran, great. Couple of different, paint schemes going on here, and camper or pickup truck bed cover. My biggest complaint with this ride is the photos. This is all of the photos you see of this ride were actually like this in the ad. They were screenshots of images. So one, that always causes me a little bit of concern of, hey, is this a real listing or not? Or two, it begs the questions like, how lazy are you? Just take actual photos, or if you've got the photos, why are you taking screenshots of the photos? And I noticed there wasn't one shot that actually had the entire vehicle really in it. There's always some part of it cut off. So all that being said, that's commenting more on the quality of the listing, maybe not the quality of the ride. These are cool. You don't see too many of them on the road anymore. And, they do have a neat look. I would lose the camper top or, cover. I probably would unbolt it and just drive away and wait for it to fall off as I left the state. But yeah, I mean, pretty cool. What do you think?
I remember your brothers. I think he brought it up to Hooptie Joyride headquarters one time in the garage and sat there and played with it.
Yep.
So yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they're neat. Like you said, you just don't see them anymore. I guess they're trying to somewhat happen with them again with the Gladiator Wranglers, kind of, but not the same. So yeah. Good
yeah,
pick.
thank you. The only better one I like is the larger J series pickup from Jeep, but the Comanche is still a good pick. So,
Yep.
but I think you're heading in a different direction here.
I am going back to a little sports car, 1986 Pontiac Fiero, North Salt Lake City, Utah, $1,710. Gives you quite a bit of a budget. However, we got a few things to talk about from the listing. They fixed it up a bit. They got it running. He's moving, or the seller is moving and won't have a place to store it. Runs, but it's currently not street worthy. The engine overheats. Something drains the battery pretty fast if you don't drive it around every day. And the transmission is iffy. That's basically all he said he could tell you. He's not super knowledgeable. I always thought these were pretty cool. Another car, you don't see too many of them anymore. A lot of them became kit cars. I guess a lot of them, because of the price point, became throwaway cars. Yeah, they came, I think, a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, with or without the wing, or I think they even had a little different hatchback to it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought they were pretty neat, but like I said, you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I think this one might even be a GT, right? Or it's got the GT wheels, I think.
Yeah.
That was an upgraded package. Mid-engined. So for those that aren't aware, the engine is right there by that rear glass. And you do have a little bit of a trunk also behind it. So I think that was great for weight concerns. These also caught on fire a lot, which was sad because of the name, but a lot of them did succumb to that particular fate. I always thought they were cool too. I mean, it's kind of a fun little sports car. Last week you had one on here.
Yeah.
Was it Ferrari?
That is true. Yeah. Having gone to Carlisle Imports and used to be Carlisle Imports and Kit Car Nationals, my goodness, you would have 30 of these things show up out there, and they're not an import, but they were there because you could make them a kit car. I happened to be at that show this year. Can't tell you I saw one of them, but they did away with the kit car piece of it. Like I said, I haven't seen them in years. So
yeah, they are cool. The mid-engine piece makes them a little bit more difficult to work on, just because not a lot of visibility there, but shot of the interior as well. So
yep.
Cool.
All right, what do you got?
All right. Well, mine's coming from 1984, and it is a hot rod. That's how it was listed, so we're going with it. $4,000 from Missoula, Montana. It's a coupe. It's not really a coupe, but that's what the listing says. Driven about 2,000 miles. It calls it a T-bucket roadster with a big engine, one of a kind. It says it needs a carb. I don't think it's all that one of a kind, other than the frame maybe that it's on. Looks like a Caprice or something along those lines. Truck maybe frame. I don't know. It's weird, but body kind of interesting. The engine up front. Not a lot of detail, not a lot of photos you can get to. I love the little side pipes. Not sure if they're functional or decorative. You got the chrome rims. Lots of dents in the body panels and stuff. So this is not a show car by any stretch. But needs clearly a bit of interior, and by that I mean a blanket to sit on. And it's got your obligatory welded gas tank. If you look at the weld on that neck, I'm not sure I would trust it. Thankfully, it's not something that would be under too much pressure. You're primarily looking at gravity fed into a fuel pump of some sort. So, different. I'm not sure I would actually be a buyer on this. I think for half the money, you could probably find a body and a frame to put it on. Plenty of Model A frames out there. Or last week we had the S10 Blazer. You could probably just use as a donor frame as well. So anyway, just something a little bit different. Maybe it truly is one of a kind, just because of the frame combo. But yeah, no. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's unique. I'm not a buyer either. Too much work, too hodgepodge of mess for me. I wouldn't even know where to start with this, but I guess you get it running and driving. You cut the side posts, probably make a lot of noise and spin a tire or two, and keep it right side up, or everybody would understand your license plate. Flip.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to drive once, and then that's probably about it.
Yeah.
So, but hey, we don't discriminate. We find the junk, we bring it to you. Tell us what you think.
That's what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to bring you a 1985 Ford Mustang GT convertible. In the 80s, everybody wanted a 5.0, from Vanilla Ice to Hooptie Dremer. So this comes to you from Richfield, Utah, $2,990. Says it's the motor runs and cars drive. It runs rich in the summer, but runs just fine in the winter. Had a complete tune-up, all new sensors, radiator hoses, flushed the cooling system, new belts, etc. Needs a new convertible top and a few other things. Message me for details. Thanks. I thought it looked pretty solid sitting here. Who knows what it really looks like underneath, sitting on a dirt floor, and it looks like a barn of horse barn or something.
Yeah.
So who knows what the true condition is of it. I picked it. I always thought the 5.0 Mustangs were cool. And I like this year's those GTs there before they put all those extra ground effects on them. You can still see the exhaust in the back without, I guess a year or two later, they put those wraparound ground effects, so on and so forth, which I think took away from the car. You're a little over half of your budget, but it runs and drives. At least it runs nice in the wintertime, but you don't have a top to keep you warm. So it's an automatic. Don't know how much you can do to clean up that interior. Obviously, the dash must have cracks in it and stuff that they put the carpet kit on top.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think, Dreamer?
Well, I had the 91 LX 5.0 as well, so it didn't have all the complete Vanilla Ice kit on it, but I always loved it. They were powerful for the time, and anemic with today's standards, 225 horsepower, 210, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But I had the 5-speed, so you could easily light up the tires pretty quick. But the platform itself is very popular. I'm with you. I like kind of this early GT styling. Not that I dislike the other one too much. I just like this one more. So it's not bad. The big question is, like you already said, can you get it clean, and is the frame, relatively solid from sitting on dirt for as long as it has?
Yeah, and that buyer, it's up to the buyer. Check that out.
All right, you ready for my next?
Let's do it.
All right, so this one coming to us from Colorado Springs is a 1980. So I'm just getting in to the decade, early entry point, $2,000. It's a Honda Accord DX. I chose this for a couple reasons. One, because it fit our 80s theme and criteria, and two, because this is how you take photos if you're trying to sell a classic. These are airbrushed, professionally done. this, despite the surface rust and everything else, this looks inviting. Like, it looks cool. This is what you want. This is come on, it's a loading bay. However, it's a cool ride. Definitely some rust there around the wheels and stuff. So you got to be careful. I mean, to me, this is so artfully done. Even the interior looks promising, despite the fact that they're only being about half there. Like, this is a clinic. This is how you take photos of your junk to make somebody interested. $2,000, I want to buy this car. Probably doesn't run the greatest, but who cares?
What time's our flight tonight?
Yeah, let's do it. Sat in a field for a while. It's got a clean title and it runs and drives. What more could you want for? The guy does put another photo of it. I think this is from when it's sat, because it's got a little bit less of the patina and rust on it, but look, still fairly clean representation. You don't see very many Accords of this era. Sometimes you see the Civic from this era, but very few Accords. So it's actually, to me, a bit of a rare ride as well. So anyway, different. I didn't pick it solely because of the good quality photos to make an example of. I think it's actually a cool older Honda from when they early days of them being around in the States anyway.
Well, I think that we should be hopping a flight tonight, and let's make it a weekend adventure driving this thing back.
All right. I'm in. Yeah. We'll get our 80s Craftsman tool set.
2 wrenches and a hammer.
I'm not sure which one of us is. I think we're the wrenches in that scenario, but nice. All right. That was that one. So you're up.
All right. So I'm going to give you a 1987 VW Cabriolet, Grand Junction, Colorado, $1,000. Says it's got a new top, tires, gas tank, fuel pumps. I guess there's plural. I don't know. And engine work done. Runs good. However, needs door handles. So I guess another one that's it's got some patina to it. Not quite as much as your Honda Accord. I always thought they were pretty neat. I remember there was a guy on our tennis team who had one rolling around in a white one like this back, in high school. It's another car. You don't see too many of these left on the market anymore. If this doesn't work, it looks like you got a Mustang in the background there you can pick up. Maybe hope get a package deal. So I don't know, $1,000 runs. It's it needs work there. You see the back bumper is missing the wraparound, I guess, plastic piece to connect it to that fender flare. And it needs that top. Well, it says it has a new top, but I guess I don't know if there's a window in it or not. It's hard to tell there. But yeah, what do you think there, Collector? Oh, hold on. And there's a Honda Civic DX in front of it. That reminds me of the one that my wife and I sold not too long ago. It was black like that with the lettering up there. We sold it a year and a half ago, and very ironic. I don't know if I even told you about this, Dreamer. We got a toll violation in the mail from another state, and it's for a Honda. It's not our car. You can tell the difference in the photo. But it's very ironic that both our Honda and that Honda had the exact same tag number issued by 2 different states.
Wow. What are the odds?
Yeah, so I don't know what the ruling will be. I sent them back a letter saying it's not us, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, maybe that's my wife's old Honda Civic from '95.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah. What do I think? we've had a lot of fun with Volkswagens over the years, so I do enjoy the make. I had a 78 Rabbit, so non-convertible, but similar platform to this one. Yeah, they're not that hard to work on. You know, German engineering makes it a little bit more difficult, but also starts to make sense after a while. Yeah, could be fun. The thing that I don't understand about this particular listing, in one photo the hood is crunched, and in the other photo it's not. So if you do happen to go take a look at this, you know, see which ride you're actually getting. Based on the photos. Maybe one was like your dating photos on your dating profile. One is from 10 years ago and you're trying to pass it off as current. You know, not that I ever did that. So see, see what happens. But they're cool. It would be fun. Yeah. That same neighbor that had the Dodge Daytona, his sister had one of those, you know, driving around. So, yeah. So anyway, all right. I'm gonna go with, you know, what probably is one of my favorite rides. It's an '82 Ford F-150 from coming from Lebanon, Oregon. Low on the budget, which, looking at the photos and everything else, seems like a complete steal to me. So if we're getting on a plane, we should be heading further west, I think, in order to grab this. $1,500. That's just insane. Says it's not rusted out. The engine will need to be gone through. It's a 302. It is knocking, so okay, you know, probably you know, going to need to replace that, but you've got budget to do it. Interior's in good shape. The rear bumper is currently off the truck and is in the rear bed in one of the photos. You know, but overall, it does look to be pretty solid. Your horn is, you know, in the wrong spot, but you know, that's typically a roof-mounted horn. Hopefully, they didn't put that on there. But these things, they're dead simple. You know, not a whole lot to the, you know, to the engine management or anything carbureted. It's just, they're so great to have. I had a 1980. Only issue I had was the shifter would come off in your hands, so had to make sure you kept the toothpicks in there holding the pivot point together. This one doesn't seem to suffer the same fate, but yeah, look, I mean, it's a truck. It's rear-wheel drive. You can haul stuff. Looks to be, you know, on bigger wheels and tires. I don't know. Something about this one just says, "Come get it," to me.
It looks like you got another set of horns mounted to the, I guess that'd be driver's side fender there. So he sure wants you to know that you're coming along. As if the engine knock doesn't let everybody know. So, yeah, it looks solid. You know, the old trucks like that are pretty cool. So I'm not sure trying to drive that back across the country with a knocking motor is the right move. So we might just have to cut the trip short and just still go to Utah for the Civic or Accord. So
yeah, maybe.
All right. So my next pick is a 1980 Mercedes SL380 from Draper, Utah, $2,500. Last ran 3 years ago. It says it has blocked injectors. The engine and trans are good. The body and interior are good. I always thought these were pretty cool. I don't remember seeing too many of them with the wire wheels on it. But another car with a removable hardtop, soft top. You know, most of them, I guess they all came that way. $2,500. I thought the body looked pretty solid there. From a distance, paint don't look too bad. So I guess deal with the injectors and see, you know, what other stuff you need to do after sitting for 3 years. And look, you may have a pretty cool Mercedes. The interior looks pretty good to me. You know, the seats
Yeah, sure does.
Maybe a little bit of wood or damage on that center console wood, but I thought it looked like a pretty solid car. Hooptie Joyride approved, as you see from the license plate.
Yeah, it looks like the same driver from the Cadillac as well, hanging out. I'm with you. I think this is an absolute steal at this number. It does look solid. Interior is in great shape. If that's any indication, it probably won't take much to get it running well. These are like, they ride great. They look great. This is a no-brainer in my opinion. Forget everything else we're getting on a plane to go see. This is the one I think we should pick up.
Yeah, you potentially could have a budget run over very quickly though with Mercedes stuff. We have a newer Mercedes now in the family, and I can tell you, oil filter are 3 times the price of a regular oil filter. Yeah. So, but you still have half your budget, so $2,500. You might be able to get through.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think you're right around that era where age of it not running, where you either can get it back pretty quickly or you pretty quickly go into a money pit for sure. Yep. Yeah. But looks like a good starting point from everything we can see. So yeah, pretty cool. All right.
I believe this is your last ride of the week.
This is it. This is my last one. Unfortunately, not a ton of information about it, but if you notice, this is our second vehicle from Canada, trying to make up for not having really any rides from Canada up until this point on the show. So hopefully we'll sprinkle some of those in going forward. This is the budget buster of the week. It's a 87 Wrangler from Pontiac, Quebec. It is $1,250 Canadian, which in today's dollars is $917. So you got plenty of budget to work with. With this year, it's a YJ, which means it's leaf springs. It says it can be repaired for the road, and it runs pretty good. It's got rust there on the fender. Can't tell if the door is actually a different color. If that's shadow, it looks like a different color given if you look all the way through. But if you look all the way through there, but it's got the hard top, got your 80s era specific Uniroyal Laredo tires, white letters out, of course, Hooptie approved.
Before you move on, or even at that picture there, I want to just point out something. Dremer normally does not have a car with wipers. This one, he has rear wipers on it. So he's ready to get back from the Canadian winters with this.
I'm getting there. I'm improving. I think those are newer Jeep rims on it for the era, but no interior shots. We have no idea what's going on, but hey, it's a Jeep. It's not that expensive. Who knows if the frame is completely roached or not, but if it's in decent shape, I think this is the steal of the week, budget buster.
There you go. Yeah. Look, Jeeps are always cool. You take the top off, put the top on, soft top, hard top, bikini top, no top, 4-wheel drive. What more can you say about them?
Take the doors off. They're like, you got all kinds. Put the windshield down. Like tons of options. It's just
I've always joked with my kids and my wife, said that they're a great second car for a family or so, or for somebody. Maybe not for everyday use. Depending on your commute or what you're using it for. Because they're a ride sometimes, but look, they're pretty neat and versatile. So. Yeah,
I mean, a year ago I bought my second of the newer era Jeeps and just sold it again. And probably won't be long before I get another one. They are fun to have around.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
which I think brings us to last ride of the show, and you have to abide by the rules. So this is your half a ride, and most people don't know that you studied accounting in college, and I'm gonna wonder how you are gonna turn this into an actual half a ride. So I want to hear your logic on this.
All right. So I'm giving you not one, but two Rolls Royces from Vero Beach, Florida. Now, as we have here, it says it's a 1982. Should I spoil it right now and let you know why? Because the second one is a 1992, so I'm only giving you half of my pick that's from the 80s. My other half is from the 90s. However, you get the package deal, so you get both.
Maybe you went to law school after, because there's some fine print there that I'm not paying attention to.
So, as the description says, the first one is a 1982 with red interior, and the second one is a 92 with black interior. They're both silver spirits. He bought the second one in 1992 for parts and the interior. The 82's engine runs, but has a stuck valve, he thinks. Or it may just have to run more, he says. Don't know. The 1992 does not have any drivetrain or a gas tank. But it does have a good interior and lots of other parts, including the radiator, he says. If the posting's still up, they're available. Plenty of pictures are posted. You get a general idea, so on and so forth. He says they're at his business. So if you want to see him, just ask him. We'll set up time. You can part them out on eBay, he says, and make money. He said the grill alone will get you at least $1,500. So, yeah, he was planning on building the one. He got too busy, and he needs a cash offer on both. So, that's my half of the week.
If this was a show that was really strict about the rules, I'd be up in arms. But hey, I think these are cool. And you can see just by the side-by-side comparison, not much changed between 82 and 92 with this ride. They're nearly identical, if not identical. Yeah, pretty cool. Now you can see the interior of the 82 that needs a bit of work. But hey, something like this, at this, you don't see Rolls Royces come along at this number all that often. Granted, it needs a little bit of work, but maybe if you throw some Berryman down into the oil, you get something to free up that drivetrain. Who knows? You gotta be careful though. I don't know if I ever told you my Rolls Royce story. So when I was working at the Volkswagen dealership back in the mid '90s, the owner's father had something similar to this, and they decided they're going to put it on the used car lot and sell it. Dealership had a huge patio out front where they would put rides, and so it was sitting up there kind of, and one of the salespeople had to go and move it over to the used car lot. So they backed it up, put it in drive. The throttle stuck wide open, and you just heard it rubber, and then finally getting some traction, shot down the ramp across the used car lot, hit the back of a Toyota Paseo, brand new. Like this Paseo I brought in on a trade was clean. It was spotless. It was a nice, clean ride. It launched that thing up into the air, across the highway, and into the ditch in between the road. That thing was toast. The only thing that stopped the Rolls Royce was it actually hit the light post and jammed up far enough that the rear wheels came off the ground. Not saying that'll happen to these rides, but Hope it's just a stuck valve, not a stuck accelerator, because that was something to behold that day. I'm glad I was there for that.
Wonderful.
No, you don't see flying Toyotas all that often. That was thankfully nobody was hurt other than a light pole and at the time a $40,000 Rolls Royce. But hey, what happens?
Yep.
So.
And somebody's ego.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go back to the shades because this has been first 80s themed episode. Tell us what you think. Should we go decade by decade? Should we, go make by make? Let us know. Give us your thoughts.
Sounds good. All right. Till next week. Enjoy the Hooptie Joyride.
That's a wrap.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, pass it on.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Peace.
all.